and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
facts, boots,
and other stuff.
In this week's issue,
Stan Lee's Aquaman. Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined as always by the Mariner extraordinaire.
See, that was the only word I could think of. Also, was Mariner.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mr. Mike. As I was trying to think of one, and do we have a show for you?
This is your happy birthday show.
It is today. Yeah. If you're watching this the day it comes out, it is actually my birthday,
and we're recording this as you're watching it. Yeah. So yeah, this is live.
Yeah,
it's not.
See, I just did that live, and I probably forgot I did that. So you'll have to remind me.
Yeah, you'll have to edit that out later.
It was a very big trick. Those who were just listening on audio, man, you're going to have to go back and don't waste your time doing that. Anyway, so since
you know what I like the most about this shot? Down by your left elbow, there's a single yellow push pin. Yeah. That is my I thought there was something on the screen. I was like trying to get it off.
Well, now that that's going to drive me crazy. Hold on.
Yeah, so you're going to have to pull that. Yep, that's it. You did it. All gone.
There we go.
For our audio friends, a push pin is something you push into the wall.
Well, okay, I don't think we need to. I think they know what a push pin is. Anyway, welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach. He's Mike.
Yep.
And each week we break down either a comic book character, a comic book story, or in this case, one single issue of an idea from back in the early 2000s. And I'll give a little bit of backstory.
What year is this from?
I think 2002.
Okay. 2002.
I have it pulled up.
This
it is from
after 9/11.
June of 2002. Yes, because we've covered one of these before.
So if 9/11 wasn't enough, then Stan Lee unleashes this on us.
Did I not tell you? It's funny, and I say it's funny that you bring that up. I saw a review that was that somebody put that this was the Batman comic that we read. Remember that he did?
Yeah.
Came out in September of that month.
Yeah, see.
And they said it was the second worst thing to happen in the month of September.
That's exactly right.
Which I think I made that joke then, and it was. Anyway, what we're talking about
we need to get away from that.
If we do, let's just move on past it.
Yeah.
But is Stan Lee in the late 2000s? The Stan Lee. He isn't working for Marvel.
He's not
anymore.
The one that makes the hammers, though, right?
No, that's Stanley.
Oh.
Yeah. Which technically, I think Stan's first name is Stan Lee. It wasn't like Stanley.
What if his name was Stanley Lee? I mean,
his name
Stanley Lee?
His name was Stanley Lieber.
Stanley Lieber?
It was Stan Lieber. Maybe it wasn't Stanley. Maybe he was just Stan, but it was Stan Lieber.
This is too many letters.
Yeah, he was Stan Lieber because his brother was Larry Lieber.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But I think it was Stanley because Jack always calls him Stanley, which I always feel like it's kind of like I always thought it was a weird power move. Yeah, it's like, like everybody calls me Zach, but somebody be like, hey, Zachary, you're just kind of like.
My favorite is the guy who calls you Z. You know who that is.
I know exactly.
My favorite.
I don't know.
There, Z.
Maybe he doesn't remember my name.
He might not.
But he remembers what it starts with. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
He called me Toaster for about a year, which is weird.
Seriously?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
But in the late.
That's a stroke. What that is.
In the early 2000s.
You start calling somebody Toaster.
In the early 2000s, Stan Lee isn't working at Marvel, and DC uses it and jumps at the opportunity to bring Stan Lee on to write a couple books for them.
Yeah.
And they thought, wouldn't it be cool if we let Stan Lee, the face of Marvel, in a sense, write origins or a story of like what if Stan Lee made the DC characters. And the first one he did was Batman that we covered, which was essentially he's framed for an attempted robbery and goes to jail.
Yeah.
He gets out of jail and becomes a wrestler.
Yeah.
And then his dad is a cop that gets murdered. We don't know why. Like it starts with they're at his funeral. His mom's alive for the whole thing, but then he decides to go after the guy who essentially framed him and defeats him, and that was the Batman story, right? I don't think I left anything out.
Yeah, it stunk.
Wasn't
great.
What we're gonna do today is twofold. It's my birthday, so I get to pick every week. But what's happening today that has never happened on the show? Not that it hasn't. Like we've talked about it before, we just never got around to it.
Yeah.
And there's no better day than today of all days. We're gonna take a little switch roles of where Mike has done the reading, and Mike is going to present the story to me, and I just get to be
You get to be the reaction.
I get to be the reaction. I get to be Mike. I just get to sit here and like try to throw things off track and make comments as it happens.
You probably don't have to worry about that. There's probably going to be two of us doing that. But so Stan Lee's Aquaman, you said 2002?
2002. Yeah, I'll go ahead and bring it in for us. I have just for you the credits to give before we get into it. Writer, Stan Lee, of course. The penciler, Scott McDaniel. Inker, it's Klaus Janson, who's big-time inker. Colorist, Guy Major. Letterer, Bill Oakley. And the editors of this were Ivan Cohen and Mike Carlin.
There is no one in that list of names that can be proud that they were associated with this.
Ooh.
It is a rough tale. Okay. So if you know anything about Aquaman, you know he's my favorite. I love. That's
exactly why I picked him.
I love the way he gets along with fish and all. I mean, that is.
So is he actually? I mean, I guess I'll wait to see. But he looks like he is like a creature, like not an actual man.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Let's do this. So Stan Lee, of course, writes you the letter up front. True believers, all that bullshit. He does a lot of that. I am not going into that like you normally do.
You're good. You're good.
Mike,
you cover this how you want to.
Listen, it starts with true believers, ends with Excelsior. You make up the middle. It's exactly what you think it is. So here's the thing about this comic book.
Okay.
At least it's not heavy-handed about conserving the ocean or anything.
Are you saying that it is?
It's a little. So on this first panel, we got this kid, and honestly, I don't even really remember his name.
Okay.
I think it'll come up later.
Okay.
But he's over here talking about how he loves the ocean and he loves fish and he loves all the things, but people treat the water bad. And I really thought in this first panel that he's talking to a rock. I thought we were going to pan over and it was just him, because it looks like he's sitting in the bottom of the sea.
It does.
Number one.
It does.
Right?
I think I have an idea of how it's set up, but it's drawn weird.
He's having this whole conversation with somebody, and
is it Aquaman?
No. No. Oh, the guy's name is Ramon. That's what his name is.
That guy there?
Yeah, that guy's name is Ramon.
Okay.
And so they talk about he talks about how much he loves the ocean. He loves these fish. He loves conserving water. Mm-hmm. He loves low flow toilets, whatever. And so anyway, he's talking to, and it's, here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and spoil this for you. He's talking to his girlfriend, okay?
Well, then where was the
what it is, it's a giant window on a boat behind him, right?
Okay,
it makes no effing sense.
You wouldn't have a view of that.
Look, yeah, there's no way that's behind the boat, right? That makes no sense. Okay, so that is the least of my worries with this.
Fair enough.
With this
Fair
comic
enough.
book, though. So he's talking to his half-naked girlfriend over there, and we find out that he lives on a boat.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
He loves the ocean so much that he has to live on a damn boat.
Okay.
She, however, is this and I'm not giving you dialogue and stuff because
you don't.
Nobody deserves this. She is very concerned with things like partying.
Okay. Which if I were a hot girl, maybe I'd be concerned with that for sure.
Sure. Well, especially if you didn't have any pants, I mean,
or just ones that ended in like a triangle, just very acutely.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing about these Stan Lee stories. If you thought that like half nudity was bad in video games and comic books and things, Stan Lee's got you. He has gone ahead and given you all the titillation that you could possibly have.
Well, how much of this I don't want to stick up for the man because maybe he wrote it like this. Maybe he's like a Frank Miller and it was like, give them something to make their mouths water, Jim. Like you remember I think when we talked about All-Star Batman and Robin, where like Frank Miller was essentially in the notes of the script that he gave Jim Lee Fraud. He was like, give them horny boys something to go crazy over. I don't know if he told him that, but maybe.
Who did the one where it was the bat peen?
That was Brian Azzarello was the writer, but it was Lee Bermejo was the artist.
I think that's a triumph over this. So anyway, they're talking about how
that's solid art for that book,
he lives at the he lives at the ocean. Mm-hmm. He's on a boat. His girlfriend wants to go out and party, but he really has this big surprise because he's been working on this project, and he's just trying to get. She gets to the point where she's like, "Yeah, show me how much you love me," and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And they get within inches of each other, and he goes, "Oh, but first I got to do this thing."
So is he just like the like flubber, like a Jerry Lewis kind of?
Yeah, pretty much. So he's got. I guess that's what's in that vial.
That's what I'm thinking of because it looks like flubber.
Oh, we find out what's in that vial here in a second. Just a second. And if you take it the right way, it could be what you think it is.
Is it well?
No.
But is it?
Well, okay. So he says, "Okay, I gotta go do my thing here with this stuff." And she's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go to a dance."
Why is your forearm so big? I gotta go collect more. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Yeah,
she's going to a dance. A school dance.
Well, here's the thing. That comes up in a minute. Okay. I got ahead of myself. I'm not used to doing this. So, anyway, they get very close, and then he says, "No, I got to pour this semen on this rock or whatever." And in comes this guy, and he's like, "Freeze, you two!" And then we find out it's his big brother. Okay. His big brother's a cop.
Okay.
They talk about how he's doing.
Hold on. Can I ask a random question?
Yeah, please.
Is the big brother cozy with his girlfriend too?
No.
I'm just saying, down in the very bottom.
I thought that exact thing when he was first introduced.
Shared girlfriend or something. Maybe.
And I can't help but like this big brother. He is the guy who played the Tick in my head.
Patrick Warburton.
That's how he sounds to me, right?
So
freeze you too. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. But
I love how he has a bag that says Asia on it. Yeah. All the food in the continent in one bag.
He comes in. Well, and it's weird. Like, you see all the different food, right? So that's at least 3 different places he went to.
Yeah, there's like burgers.
And then he offers her pizza.
Yeah.
So where's the other stuff? I don't know what they did with the other things, but she loves the pizza. And he's a lifesaver because he brought in some pizza. And all of this is through the Stan Lee dialogue machine, right? So there's a lot of far outs. Yeah. There's a lot of, well, I was thinking, and then you get a bubble where you actually see what they're thinking, right? Where they're talking to themselves. It's all exposition, right? It's all to build up the story.
Yeah.
Right?
He likes the exposition.
Oh, he loves the exposition, and he loves to hit you over the head with it as many times as he can.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it's kind of the staple of some of those early Marvel comics.
Yes, very much so. But this is 2002 when Stan. So I'm not sure that
we'd already had Kingdom Come by this point.
Well, but I'm saying I'm not sure Stan Lee was ever cool, right? But this is definitely.
As much shit as I give Stan, I would argue that he was cool. Like, he's cool in the zeitgeist of that Stan Lee.
But you also are looking at the same guy who gave you the Hulk TV show, where, you know, Lou Ferrigno throws a bear across the world.
Yeah, but how much of that was Stan involved?
And then you're also looking at the guy who gave us Thor that looked like. You've seen the Thor.
Donald Blake. Are you talking about the doctor where he tapped the cane and turned it into?
Well, no, not that one. I'm talking about the TV one, where he looks like a Nordic fisherman or whatever with a Viking hat on.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Spider-Man he gave us that is just the worst.
Again, though, I don't know how much of it, like.
He was pretty involved because I watched a behind the scenes thing the other day where he was going to have them cross over because of the announcement for the new Spider-Man movie. You know, them talking about the Hulk being involved. Well, this goes back to when Stan Lee was trying to get the Hulk and Spider-Man to cross over on regular TV.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it was so bad, people are just like, no, we're not doing that. Okay. So anyway, the brother shows up. They talk about law enforcement or something, and you also learn that his dad was a cop. His dad was killed in the line of duty.
Oh, okay.
All of this stuff. This is.
Wait, is he going to be Batman too?
Nobody in this is Batman. Okay. I promise you, nobody in this is cool enough to be Batman. So they do a lot of talking, and he. Go ahead.
What is his last name? You said his name was Raymond.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting. Is it alliterative?
I don't know. I really don't know what his last name is.
Let me look this up.
About 3 pages into this, I stopped giving a shit, and I just kept reading.
Fair enough.
So anyway, he's down there and he's talking about how, you know, the people are polluting the waters.
Ramon Raymond.
Yeah, Ramon Raymond. There you go.
So it is RR.
It's always something like that. And then they talk about how the girlfriend, you know, wants to party. She likes nice things, but she's stuck with this guy, but they really love each other. There's a whole other scene in here coming up where they say the exact same shit. Like, it's like if Stan Lee could convince us any more that these two are opposites.
Can I go ahead a little bit?
Yeah, no.
Okay. No, I was just trying to.
You already did it. Yeah, so they get real close where their noses touch, and then shit starts happening. But he thinks about his dad and how his dad was a sea cop. and he saved.
Hey, that's a tease for World's Finest Wednesday.
Saying. He put out fires. He saved boats. He, resuscitated fish or whatever he did, right? So that was a whole thing. And then there's a call where suddenly the law enforcement brother gets a call. He has to go out on a crime, right? Because there's a crime at the bay or whatever, right? There's an oyster's been shucked. Come see us. So he takes off, and then they start talking again about how much they love each other, and it's just the greatest.
Same exposition again.
Yes, it's the same damn thing. No, it happens again. I'm telling you. He reaches his hand down in the water and then pulls up the water, and she doesn't quite know why he loves the water so much, but she's like, oh, it's just crazy how much I love you and shit like that.
Yeah.
So then they go to the aquarium. Where they're going to have this big hot date at the Great Hall of the Pacific.
Yep. Sounds like a cool date.
Crazy running up and down and looking at the turtles and the fish and shit. And then, he starts thinking about, well, I've got this project and I really want to show it to her, but I can't do it here. It's got to be like this big reveal. I've got to I don't know why. Why don't you just tell her about it? You were at the boat where all the shit is. Just do it there.
Okay.
But no, we go to an aquarium while his brother goes off into the thing. What do you think happens to his brother?
His brother gets shot.
What?
And killed.
No way. So we go back. She goes off for a while. This is after the date. He then starts thinking, boy, I'm going to show her. She is going to be so impressed when I inject myself with this dolphin DNA.
Hold on.
Yep. So he talks about, I'm telling you, it's bad.
Oh, shit, it does say dolphin DNA.
It says dolphin DNA, literally. Stanley is never going to have you guess at anything. He's going to hit you over the head with it. So he's got dolphin DNA that he's going to inject in himself. And look at that smug-ass look.
He is.
He's got a smug-ass look on his face when he's talking about, I'm going to put this dolphin DNA in me, and I'm going to be big and bad. So the whole thing, the whole thing is, thank God that never happens in this movie, in this comic book. But the whole thing is, he wants to be closer to the sea life,
to the dolphins,
and he wants to be able.
That's why he loves the water.
Well,
so much.
at the aquarium, he tells her, have you ever thought those are mammals too, and why can they breathe underwater, but we can't? Fuck off, right? And so it's all he wants. He just wants to be able to breathe underwater.
You remember that TLC show, My Strange Addiction?
my strange dolphin addiction.
Dolphins.
Yeah. So he calls her and he says, "Listen."
He does fuck fish.
He goes, "Listen."
Oh man, okay.
Listen, beautiful. He starts it with that. It's always like, "Hey, baby," that kind of thing. And he says, I got something big I want to show you. And she says, well, I've seen that, and it's not that big. No, she says, okay, and I've got something I want to show you. And so she's talking about a micro bikini.
Oh, yeah. No, I see it.
There I went. She's talking about a micro bikini that she wants to show him. So they're going to meet. They're going to have a big hot date or whatever, and he's going to show each other stuff. I don't know.
Here's my bikini. Here's my thing. All right, that's cool.
So
see you next week.
The next day, and Stanley keeps telling you it's the next day. But the way he does this is he says things like, if you can't figure it out, this is the next day. Oh, that's old Stan again. What?
Hold on. They got a safety alert for a boating advisor?
So they go out on his boat. And when they go out on the boat, he misses the safety alert that's sent out by, I don't know, the ocean. And they say, oh, shit, somebody's hijacked boats. You better watch out. Don't go in this area. What area? The ocean?
The boat hijacking area.
So they're out there freewheeling.
Do you think it's like, if you would have stayed on that side of the rock over there, we wouldn't have hijacked you.
Yeah. There's also something that happens here in a minute, and I still don't understand what it was.
So this is her in the micro bikini. Is that him going underwater right now?
He has now gotten into the water, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm full of that dolphin DNA, so I'm going to show her. And then she's over there just like, yeah, whatever, nerd.
Getting her tan on.
Yeah.
I got a party coming up.
I got a party coming up, and it don't involve you. And
Be gone, dolphin boy.
She's just like, yeah, okay, you can show me later or whatever. Yeah. And he's like, I can stare at you in the bikini all the time. Okay, great. This entire comic book could have lost like 10 pages, and you'd still know the story.
Okay.
So anyway, he goes underwater, and he's injecting
he
himself.
Gets killed by a shark.
Well, he's at the end. Aquaman. He goes down in the water, and he's like, okay, I'm going to be able to breathe underwater. I'm going to show her because I'm going to stay down here forever. And then she's going to be like, oh, my God, you were able to stay down so long.
She's not even paying attention to him.
Who gives a shit?
She's reading a magazine up there.
She's reading a magazine. She's got her eyes closed. She's in a micro bikini.
Yeah,
she's getting
she's
sun.
napping.
But he's down there, and he's like, oh, shit. This shark is real near me. I didn't see that. Okay, for a guy who lives in the ocean and takes care of animals all the time in the ocean, you don't see a giant shark coming at you. But anyway, I can get past that.
Okay.
So he starts running away from the shark, or whatever you call it, paddling away maybe? Is that
Swimming
underwater?
away?
That seems like it would be on top of water.
Swim underwater.
Swimming away?
Yeah.
I don't feel like he swims. I think he like kerlunks or
he
something.
kerlunks away
weird.
from the shark. Yeah.
So anyway, he's going away from the shark, and he's like, that shark is following me. How does it know?
Did you have to?
Yes. That's the other lovely thing about this little sequence. All the dialogue's upside down.
I wonder if maybe I accidentally sent you it with a page upside down.
Or this could be a choice that Stan Lee made.
Well, if I may, does he go to turn? No.
Nope. It goes back around.
That could be a choice. Maybe I did that
It could be a choice.
too.
But the thing is, okay, and what we're saying, audio people, is that the entire page is upside down. And we don't know if this is a scanning issue, but here's the thing. It happens at a time where he kind of loses where he's at, and he has to get away from the shark, and he has to go hide and all this stuff. So it made sense to me that it was upside down.
Oh, to disorient. Okay. Then maybe they did do it
disorienting,
that way.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that is a very heavy-handed way to tell you, oh, shit, things are bad.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, he's running away from the shark, and then he realizes, oh, no, there's this green stuff in the water that's all around me.
Yeah.
This is the thing I'm talking about. Never is it explained why it got green and where the green came from and what the hell happened. He even goes searching for the green later and can't find the green.
I wonder if that comes up later, like they do find the green.
Maybe.
I wonder if it's related to swamp. Like, do they call it the green?
No, they don't call it the green.
Okay.
He just says there's this green glow in the water and the shark's attracted to it. But then the shark goes, oh, never mind, and he leaves.
Fish are friends, like in Finding Nemo.
So he leaves, and then Aquaboy, all his shit falls off of him.
Aqualad.
And he starts turning into this watery creature. Now, I don't know a lot about injecting myself.
From just the dolphin DNA and the green stuff?
Well, see, you don't know. Is it the green stuff? Is it the dolphin DNA? But he did say that he was going to inject himself with a lot of sea mammal DNA. Yeah.
What is he into?
I think he's got a kink of some kind.
That's what it sounds like.
But anyway, he injected himself with all this stuff.
So the whole joke, like I just made the joke, but he might.
He could. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a fish lover.
Yeah.
But anyway, he starts turning into this kind of watery white creature or something because of the green, because of the DNA. I don't know. So there he is. Now all of a sudden,
it gave him extra like bug arms.
You got like I am Groot, but underwater with like scorpion talons or whatever, right? So he's like, "Oh my God, I'm an undersea freak."
Yeah, the DNA, the strange green water, they've turned me into an undersea freak.
Yeah, the strange green water that we never explain.
Okay.
So he's like, oh, my God, but I can go real fast and I can swim real hard and fish love me or whatever. And so he goes up and he realizes, oh, when I think about it, I can turn back into myself.
Yeah.
It's not that he's in the water that turns him into Aqua thing. It's just the fact that he can think it.
So then he's like a Wonder Twin now and he can turn into a bucket of water?
He doesn't even have to put a ring together or anything. He just thinks about it,
So he's even better than the Wonder Twins.
Yeah, he's a Wonder Solo.
Wonder Solo.
He goes up.
He's a wonder-only child.
He's a wonder-only child. That's exactly right. He goes up and he realizes, oh, well, she's going to be worried because I was down there so long. No, she didn't give a shit.
She's still. It's a really good article, man.
Well, she was like, oh, I thought you intended to stay down longer. And he's like, well, shit, I was down there a long time. Plus, I turned into a thing.
Sometimes
he didn't tell her any of this.
Sometimes it's great having a girlfriend who's so totally detached.
Mm-hmm. So she's represented in this comic book as very materialistic, very like airheaded, does not care about others.
Does she have any redeeming quality in this?
No, only that she loves this dumbass. That's really it. She is very much an ancillary character. She's not needed in this story at all. It's just TNA and dumb lady. That's really all she's for.
Okay.
I'm telling you, this is Stan Lee's finest work. Mm-hmm. So, see, there you go. Top pops off. You know, she starts yawning.
Hold on. Yeah, in the middle. Come on.
Yep.
And even the eyes. Come on.
Yep. So she's
surprised Greg Land didn't work on that.
Again, portrayed as this oversexed, materialistic, dumb blonde with brown hair. And so
then that means she's not a blonde, right?
Right, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he turns the boat around and they start going back because God, how can I tell her? You know, she's
going to think I turned into an undersea freak.
She's going to think I'm a freak, which you already called yourself that, but okay.
Yeah. She's going to think what I think about myself.
So the last panel of this on page 14 is a literal scene from Miami Vice where he's staring out into the ocean and it's reflected back in his glasses.
Like the Who should be playing in CSI Miami.
So they're just
those hijackers they warned him about.
That's exactly right. So they're floating around. Gosh, it's like you read this. Mm-hmm. So they're floating around, not paying any attention. The hijackers, that boat is seriously close to your boat. There's no way you didn't see, hear, or suspect anything. Right?
Somebody sneezes that close, you hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're out on the ocean where there's not a lot of other sounds.
Yeah, you're going to hear it moving. Yeah. Or something. Yeah.
Anyway, they come up to the boat. They get on because why wouldn't they?
Pirates,
and they're going to hijack this boat. Of course, they have Uzis.
Most pirates do.
And he is like, well,
it'd be the Uzi.
You're not going to get to me. I'm going to fight you off. And they're like, no way.
Is that so, Squirt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of squirts, a lot of jackasses or whatever Stan Lee said.
Oh, man.
So anyway, he fights them for a little while, and then finally they hit him with the butt of a gun. Instead of just killing the guy, why don't you just shoot him?
Oh, and they tie him and throw him overboard.
Well, they tie him and they throw him overboard, and then he becomes Aqua Boy, and then they go, oh, this chick, she's hot. We'll do whatever with her. And so they all start going after her, and then Aqua thing pops up out of the ocean and says, not in my ocean.
Yeah.
And then comes after her. Amelia, that's her name. So they start shooting at him and they realize, oh shit, bullets go right through him. Well, he's water.
Yeah.
So
is he just full like a watered person then?
He's pretty much fully a water person. But this is when he finds out he's got other powers. One of them is that he can spray out of his fingers. So if you think of like one of those garden hose things, that's what he can do. And he realizes...
Does he turn his finger and it does different
sprays? He realizes when I think about it, I can make it go real hard or I can go in a spray.
So it does.
The entire panel here is him figuring out that he has the power of a water hose. Okay? So he goes after bad guys. He gets them. They throw her over. He goes and gets her. She passes out. The Coast Guard shows up, which, where the hell were y'all? They show up, and these guys are like, oh, I give up. I did it because I don't want that water guy attacking me again. He goes, well, we need to pin it on him. The other guy goes, nope, I'll take jail over going to a loony bin. And then they take him into custody. It's very dumb.
Okay.
So she wakes up finally in his car, and she's like, oh, my God, what happened? Last thing I knew, I was struggling. And he goes, well, I pulled you out, and blah, 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 blah. And then
he goes to visit his dolphin friends.
He goes to the aquarium again, and I believe he's got her with him. Let's see. No, he doesn't. So he drops her off at some street corner and then just takes off. And then he goes and he sees his dolphin boys, and he
Dolphin boys unite.
And he literally says the words "far out."
He
right
does.
in front
Far
of a dolphin. He embarrassed that dolphin to no end.
Aquaman.
And then he says, I've come up with a name for myself, Aquaman. Just out of nothing, you know. No. I mean, I have the power of a water hose, but
just like Batman, because he had the pet bat. He made friends with a bat in jail. I forgot about that.
This one, he fucked a bunch of fish. So
dolphins and Dolphin DNA.
And doesn't he look like Black Panther there?
Oh, that and that Black second Panther, panel right? down, yeah. It looks like he has like claws kind of too.
So he goes and he's back in the water and he's talking about being an Aquaman. I don't know. I kind of checked out in the middle of this thing. But and then he realizes, oh, shit, I can't go through like fences and stuff. But, oh, well, I got a lot of other cool powers. That's basically verbatim what he says.
Oh, well, a guy can't have everything.
Exactly, right?
The one thing I can't do is ooze through small spaces.
Yeah.
Ooze through small spaces.
Ooze through small spaces, yeah.
Hey.
But my fingers can. Squirt, squirt, squirt.
Yeah, squirt, squirt.
And so then he realized...
Hey, baby, I was hoping that you and I... No, I'm sorry. I can't ooze through small spaces.
So he realizes, oh, well, their bullets went through me. He's just now figuring this out. Not at the time he was being shot.
He's like, I should be dead. I just thought about that now.
Oh, shit, I'm water. So anyway, he thinks about all his He thinks about all his cool powers, and he ends up and he realizes, oh, I can think myself back into existence. This isn't what I wanted. Oh, dear God, what have I done? Right? So
wait, I thought he was just thinking how cool it was.
He was. But now he's turned back into a boy, a real boy, and he's like, oh, damn
he's
it, what
very
have I done?
angsty, like the Silver Surfer.
It's very Silver Surfer-ish, right?
So is Stanley's Aquaman just Silver Surfer?
Well, a wet one. He's a wet Silver Surfer.
Wet Silver Surfer.
Yeah,
okay.
for the most part. So anyway, he starts thinking about his brother. He's going to want to go tell his brother because he's the only one that could really understand, what's going on. Not sure.
Oh, I forgot. I thought the brother had already died.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So he goes over to see his brother, who's fixing a 68 Chevy or something. I don't know. It's some kind of car, and they mentioned it a couple of times. And
it's a Ford Fairlane 500.
Sure,
it's a
there you go.
Ford Fairlane.
Yeah. So he goes up to tell him, and he starts to tell him what's going on, and then, here comes bad guys. So they drive up to the cop's house for some reason.
No.
Yeah. These are the same guys. These are the same guys that got taken in by the Coast Guard.
But I don't think they're at his house, though.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. They go out to the reservoir because he's going to show him his mighty water powers. Yeah.
But they're able to hunt him down.
So they hunt him down. Same guys, because they say, this is the same guy who got us arrested earlier.
So how are they already out of jail?
I don't know.
Fair
That's
enough.
never explained. That's a Stan Lee problem. And so his brother's there with him. He was in the midst of showing him his things. Then the guys come up.
Here, see my thing?
Because he stole all the plutonium from the Iranians or whatever Doc Brown did. No.
Oh.
They're out in the parking lot, and his brother gets shot. So these guys are like, oh, damn, we shot somebody. We got to go. And so they take off. Waterboy comes over and starts telling his brother, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. He's like, oh, I just got shot in the leg. It's fine. Okay? I got shot in the leg. Right? Just keep that in mind. I just got shot in the leg.
It's okay. Just my leg. Get their license number.
Yep. Get their license number. I'll do better than that, he says, or something to that ilk. So he starts running after him, and he's pissed. I mean, look at his weird hockey face.
That is a cool looking.
It's a good looking, yeah. Because it's basically in that mirror on the side of the car kind of thing. You're getting that view. But here's the deal with this. He kills these guys. Like, he doesn't necessarily mean to.
Yeah.
But Aquaman kills these guys. He chases them and chases them. Things go bad. And what does he say? I'll just take a breather. He says something. Oh, this is Stan Lee talking. But he says something like, damn it, their car blew up before I could pull them out. Well, you caused that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, blasted. Their car exploded before I could drag them out.
Yeah. It blew up before I could drag them out.
It's okay. I'm not a murderer.
You killed them.
No, he's not a murderer. I was going to rescue them.
You killed these men. I was
planning on rescue them. I'm innocent. Thank
Whatever. You. Yeah. Well, here in just a minute, they talk about how, I need to turn them into law enforcement and stuff like that when he's chasing down other people. And I'm thinking, well, these fuckers are dead. Yeah. I mean, you just killed them.
Because of you, Aquaman.
Yeah, water hose man.
Water hose man.
Okay, so now he goes over to the hospital.
His brother's lifting weights, and
he goes over to see his brother in the hospital, and his brother already has a cane. This is like later that night, and he's already got like these.
In the real world,
polio canes.
In the real world, he's still waiting in the waiting room.
That's
Here, he's already got. Yeah, they're like, we're dismissing him.
But they tell him that he's probably never going to walk again, and then he over here.
He just told him that he was okay.
Man. I don't know.
What happened to the other leg?
Again, he got shot in the fucking leg. It's not that big a deal, right? I mean, you can get shot in bad places.
I get losing one leg, but what happened to the other one?
We'll get to that in a second. Because
he got shot.
No, he doesn't get shot again. But we'll
they drove back around like, I
still didn't get him. Dang it! So he's laying in there, and he tells his brother, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel like I caused all this." Well, because you did.
And
then he goes,
damn Aquaman.
And he's like, "No, I'm sorry, man. You didn't do this, and I'm tough, and I'm gonna get out there, and I'm gonna start walking, and I'll get." And then he kisses his cane for some reason. He's like, "I'll get out
stay
there
with me, Roberta,
and I'll get back up there." He goes, "I walked all my life. It can't be that hard." Okay. Sure. That's not the way it works, but sure. But anyway, he's like telling his brother, "Hey, I'll get back on my feet. Don't worry about it. We're good. What was that big thing you needed to tell me? Oh, was I nuts when you were showing me how you could water everything?" And he was like, "No, it really happened." And so he's like, "Oh, well, I got a brother who's a superhero. That's great. Well, your legs are fucked, but sure." This motherfucker caused all of this stuff, and he's like, "Oh, okay, well, all right, you talked me down, so we're good."
How did he cause it though?
Now, Stan Lee takes a big old leap here.
Oh, the cult from the first one.
He takes a big old leap and says, "Oh, many months later, true believers."
Hold on.
Yeah.
So it just honestly just jumped from his brother's okay to I'm gonna go visit a cult.
Yep. So his brother's out walking around, or hobbling, I guess, with his one cane and his one good leg. And he's like, "Oh, I'll walk, but getting a little tired. So let me stop here at the Church of Eternal Empowerment."
Reverend by Dominic Dark.
Reverend Dominic Dark with 2 R's. Dark.
Yeah.
So he walks in there and he goes, "What is this, a church service?" I really thought this comic book would be over by now.
Yeah.
This is an entirely different story.
Does it go into this part of the story then?
Yes. We've got several pages left here.
Okay.
So we go into this thing where they fight this cult, not to spoil anything for you, but it's a cult. So they go in there, and there's a lot of thous and thuses and things like that, and they're all in there worshiping Damien Dark or whatever his name is, and this guy sees it, and he's like, "Oh, what a crock."
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who's ever said the word crock. No. But anyway, it's the Stan Lee, but Damien Dark or whatever his name is says, "Oh, there's someone who doesn't believe in our midst. We've got to stop him. We've got to find him." And so he, let's see, what is the thing that he talks about? He says, with but a gesture,
Morgana?
freeze them. Yeah. And then Morgana's going to help. So basically he freezes time.
Okay.
In the middle of this church service. Once time is frozen, then he can figure out who the non-believer is. And Morgana throws off all her clothes and says, "I'll do it," with her big metal tits.
Yeah.
And then, so she now knows what Damien
Dark.
Dark
her brain exposed.
Yeah, pretty much. Everything's exposed.
And like a thing's hanging from her neck.
Yeah, it's just stuff hanging.
Huh.
So anyway,
costume choice.
She goes looking for this guy. Then all the little 7 dwarfs go looking for him, and they realize, oh shit, he's in the back. And so they start storming towards him. They find out it is, and then it cuts over to he gets out, and it cuts back to the dock where girl's still in the bikini, still being stupid. He is over there thinking about watering himself or whatever he does.
How he's going to get more dolphin DNA.
Right. Yeah. His brother says, "Man, I went into this weird church and stuff, but I'm glad you guys are good." I'm really just summarizing this thing for you, right? But Damien Dark and Metal Tits over there, they're looking at the big globe, and they realize, oh, shit, it's one of these 3 people. We must get thou, or whatever they say, right? It's something very bad. Yeah. It's, what does he say? It is he who harnesses the power. So he realizes that one leg was not the one he wanted to get. It's the brother.
Got it.
Right? And so now it's like, all right, Metal Tits, go get him.
Yeah.
And so now we're like, okay, we're back to, we are so different again. Again, this comes up. We are so different. I don't even know how we're together. Yeah, but I love you so much. And opposites attract and blah, 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 blah. So she drives off. She's going to this is where she goes to the party. And she says she's going to dance with all the hunks. He doesn't think about that because he gets like this spider tingle.
Yeah, see that? Aqua tingle?
And he says, uh-oh, why do I sense, what does he say? Why do I sense some coming danger.
Kind of like
the instinct of some fish.
It's his
Have
fish
you
sense.
ever heard that fish have a special instinct where they can see power or see bad things coming up?
No.
Like there's no fish tingle.
Fish tuition? No,
yes.
I've never heard of that.
There's not. This is a brand new thing, Stan Lee. Thanks so much.
Fish tuition.
So he says, no, it's more than danger. And then here are the cult people. They're there.
Yeah.
They're surrounding his brother. Now they've got his brother in their meaty little claws. And I'm going to turn into Water Boy. And so he goes over there and he starts saving his brother. And his brother's like, oh my God, you're a monster or whatever. And so he fights them all. They realize, if we shoot Water Boy, it just goes right through him.
Yeah.
Then they take the brother and they put a gun up to his head. And then he's like, nope, you won't take my brother. And then for some reason, they all get along. Like they stop where this last panel, they're like, hey, where's your power come from? Wait, weren't y'all all just beating each other's ass?
It looks like we're going to be pals. You can call me Aquaman.
That's what I'm saying. What? What just happened? There's no rhyme or reason as to why they were mortal enemies and now they're like, hey, I think we're pals. So where you get all that power from? So he starts explaining it to him, and then all of a sudden, this guy's still got the gun up to the guy's head, and so he shoots his water spray at him, knocks the gun away.
Into the very high pressure.
Right. He goes,
1 second.
Yeah.
That's the wrong one.
Yeah. He's like, it's raining. No, it's me. Hang on. And so he squishes his finger just right and squirts out of that, and it hits the gun, knocks it out, and then they knock out all of the purple robe guys. Now, what I don't understand here, though, is like when you see these purple robe guys, look at his arm. It's
they
like
have
there's
like metal. Yeah, and the feet, too. You see
it's weird, right?
Yeah.
That's never explained. So they knock him out, and then the next thing we see is these guys coming back to the dock, and they have to explain to Damien Dark that they didn't get the guys. All that's left is that. And they point at a little puddle of water. Like, this is all that was left. And so
we think it might be his pinky toe.
Damien Dark is not happy. He tells Metal Tits to just kill them all.
Yeah.
And let's start over and you go get them. She's like, okay, great. I was looking for something to do. So now the two storm-crossed lovers or whatever, they meet up again because he goes to the party that he wasn't supposed to be at. And she's like, oh, my God, you're here. Well, I didn't want you dancing with all the hunks. Oh, there's hunks here? Where are they? And it's all that bullshit, right?
So the thing is, though, is that she would have, but no hot guys showed up.
Yeah, he showed up.
And there were no hot guys at the party either.
And he's yet to even show her his
water
spray.
The Dolphin DNA yet?
Yeah, he hasn't done anything with that. So anyway, that is basically the end of this story.
Yeah.
The brother is alive, but he's walking around now.
I thought he died.
He's gotten better.
And he can walk, man.
And then he looks out the window.
Talk about burying the lead, Mike.
He looks out the window, and there's more coming.
Okay.
This says the end. It is not.
Oh, I was confused. Okay.
Yeah. So it's
How
the
dare
end.
I think that?
And he's with the words "the end." Who knew? He looks out the window and he sees himself as Water Boy, and then he sees mean old Damien Dark behind him, and he's like, "Oh my God, there's more. I have so much power, and there's so many people out to get me." The end. All right, so this is set it up for whatever's coming.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go to a different thing called On the Street. This is an entirely different story.
About his brother?
His brother goes back to the Beverly Hills Police Department. Did you know we were in Beverly Hills? I didn't.
I did notice an LAPD on his thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But hold on, this isn't an after credit scene. This is just like
this is an entirely different story.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a Marvel after credit scene that goes on for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
You're like, God, I get it. What? Stop.
So he
goes in there and he starts yelling at his chief. Why won't you let me back on duty?
His chief looks like one cool son of a bitch down there.
His chief basically tells him, well, you're crippled, idiot. You can't do it. And I think he literally says the word crippled. And so he can't put him on active duty. He's been put on a desk. And so he's like, well, I don't want to do that. That sucks. And he goes, well, there's a place in France where all the ladies dance. He says, in France.
I know a man in Nantucket.
He says, in France, they have a special way of dealing with people like me on the force. They're way more open-minded to cripples.
Wait, what?
Just let that marinate for a second.
He doesn't. Hold on.
He goes, hey, I want to go to France.
I've been researching on the net. The streets in Paris have a much less restrictive attitude towards disabled officers.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
if I
specifically disabled officers.
You're due vacation time, so we're going to let you transfer and work.
All happens. And he goes, okay, well, I'll send you to France and you can check all this out. But here's the catch. When you come back, there's a plan and you're wounded and you can go back to active duty if we can figure out how to make this work and blah, 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 blah. So, okay, you got it. I'm going to France. So he gets onto the plane.
What the hell?
He gets onto the plane with his now wooden crutch, which seems like a downgrade.
It was a metal one earlier.
It was one of those metal polio crutches, right?
Yeah.
And so now he's on the airplane and he's talking to these guys, and they're like, "Oh yeah, but we're gonna get you." Okay. So the guys on the plane now hate him.
Yeah.
And so they start attacking him, and he hits them with the wooden crutch, and we get a lot of youches and oofs. And then
you showed me that.
Yeah. And so now they're pointing laser guns at him for some reason.
Turn the phasers to obliterate.
Okay. This is the most clunky, heavy-handed, weird transition to things you've ever seen in your life. I promise you. And you read a lot of comics.
I do read a lot, yeah.
He's like, "You're in trouble now, cop." And he goes, "Nuh-uh, behind you?" And then all the people on the plane are like, "Stand back. Nobody's going to get this guy while we're here. You're not taking down this disabled officer." I don't know how they know who the hell he is or anything, but the whole plane is now turned. So this is why I ask about the 9/11 thing. Because you remember the Let's Roll, right, where the people on the plane realized that guy was trying to hijack the plane, and they all turned against him and turned it. And that's why
this was in the mindset from this.
That's why the thing at the Pentagon wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Because also we have to think about this too, is that it had a cover date of June. It was done before that.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I don't remember anywhere in the 9/11 story of hearing about people with laser guns.
No.
But anyway, they have laser guns here, and they're going to take him out, and we're Americans, and blah, blah.
They stick up for him, yeah.
So you get some thwops, and you get some whacks, and you get some cracks, and you get some boofs. Mm-hmm. And then
Very Batman of the city.
There is zero dialogue in this entire page.
Nice. Just a lot of onomatopoeia.
They wrap up these two guys, and they put them on the seat, and they're all like, "Yeah, let's smile at each other." So they land the plane, and then off he comes in France, and they're like, "Enjoy prison, boys!" And so the France cops take him to France jail. So he meets...
And we're done now.
Yep. He meets Chef blah, blah, blah out there, and he says, "Hey, I hear you've got a great thing." And he goes, "Oh, but you are the one who is the most great because you beat up them boys on that plane." And so he's like, "Oh, yeah, that's great." And he says, "Well, I would like to study your ways about handicapped officers and stuff." "Oh, no, we want you to do this and blah, blah, blah." And so they get in the car, and they're talking about how he's not going to let him see the handicap officer parade or whatever they put on. Instead, he wants him there working with them to try to find the criminals. And then, for some reason, he mentions the JLA.
Okay. He says the other people mentioned the jail because I think this might have come afterwards. Yeah. Stanley, after the first book, he wrote he did the members of a Justice League. So they might have come together by this point.
When you've read stuff about the JLA, is it like, well, you got to take these guys to the JLA, and then a French guy goes, "Nope," and he goes, "Oh, well, I better stay in France then and make sure they get to the JLA." That is the end. That's the end of the story. It is the weirdest, stupidest. It felt like product placement there at the end, just like JLA stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Catwoman looks hideous.
Yeah, it's really bad. But anyway, we end in France with his brother who hobbles, and he's going to live there now. And Waterboy's still in LA or something.
There we go.
That's it.
Stanley's
Hope you enjoyed
Aquaman.
that.
I do want to look at Catwoman.
Because I know I didn't.
Quick.
Catwoman. She's a supermodel who becomes a superheroine.
I bet you cat DNA. 100% cat DNA.
She had a cat put her ass right on her face or something.
He looks cooler there.
He does look cooler there. Too bad that never happens.
This was $6.
Yeah.
Back in. Hold on.
Yeah.
Comics are now this price.
Yeah.
Let me look at this. $5.99.
I would have called the Better Business Bureau and said, "Listen, they are ripping me off here because this was a bad story. It's badly written. The art's great. The art's really cool. But again, did you ever see any mention of the green stuff again? Because I didn't.
No.
Did you know that they wanted everybody to be turned into the JLA? I didn't know that was a thing.
So
it just came out of nowhere.
So $5.95 in 2002, this is before tax, would be about $10.63.
Yeah. Yeah, if I paid $10 for this, I would hold up the store that I bought this
There's
from.
like a full 12 of these, I feel, is the whole story. Maybe it's only 11 or so, like the different characters.
$120.
We haven't even got to like a Superman and stuff like that.
Oh, this is bad, dude. I mean, this is just rough. But I hope you enjoyed it for your birthday. I hope I was able to do it justice.
Thank you. I enjoyed
Justice League of America justice.
I enjoyed just being able to sit here and listen. And
it's not a bad gig.
Terrible, terrible comic book.
And here's the thing. I don't do this near the justice that you do because you go like sentence by sentence sometimes. And you do a great job.
I probably take too much time doing that sometimes.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think it works. I do not envy that job because on things like this, I lose faith in humanity. I think that us humans need to be probably taken down a peg.
All right.
Because if we're producing shit like this, then we are in rough shape.
I don't know. I loved it.
I'm a water boy. I can squirt out my fingers, but I can't squirt through a fence. Hey, baby, let's go do it on a car.
Can't get everything in life.
All right, guys. See you later. I'm going to France. Yeah. I mean, what? Huh?
I will add that the second story was written by a second person. It wasn't written by Stan.
No shit.
And you can tell like the art's different and stuff too.
It feels like somebody won a contest, or something.
I can't find anything of why they did that. It does have it as two separate stories and like two different groups of.
It just comes out of nowhere.
Oh shit!
Huh?
It's all
tied together.
It is all 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Who do you think? And granted, we recorded these out of order, but you'll know a little bit more when you get to Wednesdays. But guess who did the art? Who was the penciler for it?
Same person?
Ramona Fraden.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she does a great job.
It would make sense, though, that they'd have her do something because she was the Aquaman artist forever.
I would go home and throw up for about an hour, though, if I had to pencil that dialogue in.
Well, she's not the letterer for that. That was Jack Morelli. She just did the art there. And the art, again, it looks...
It's great. It's a beautiful comic book.
Well, no, I mean, she did the last story. And you can kind of tell that has like that 50s kind of like style.
It's a very stupid edition,
it's
though.
It's so funny how it all comes back to her, though. Huh.
It's a very stupid thing. So there you go. Aquaman. There's Aquaman as written by Stan Lee in a fever dream. Stan should have stayed in his hole and not ever done these because
in his hole.
The Batman thing was bad. This is worse. I can't even imagine. What are the other ones that he did?
Oh, do you want me to go? Have I not told you all the ones that he did?
I mean, you mentioned Superman just a second ago.
So I'm trying to see if I just have.
And he obviously did Catwoman, so that's 4.
He did Catwoman. There's like 12 of them.
Good God, why would you desecrate your comic book heroes like this?
Well, because Stan wasn't working at Marvel anymore.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. This was more like just let him do whatever he wants.
Yeah, no, they were just thinking of it as it's a cash grab.
Sure,
we're gonna let Stan write whatever he wants.
People cared.
In the early 2000s, I think maybe.
Do you think they did?
It was something, yeah.
Okay.
So here's what he did, and this is the order it came out in then.
Okay.
Batman was the first one, which we covered, and then Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Then Superman, then Green Lantern, then The Flash, then they did Justice League, or JLA.
Okay.
Then they did a Secret Files and Origins.
Wait, JLA came when?
After The Flash.
Okay. Was Aquaman in there?
Aquaman's not in the
Aquaman hadn't been done yet.
Aquaman hadn't been done yet.
Okay, so that makes a little more sense that they would start dropping JLA stuff in there.
Because the JLA has been formed now in his little universe. There.
Okay, all right.
Then they did a Secret Files and Origins. There's a Robin issue. Shazam.
Makes total sense, yeah.
Then we had Aquaman. Then we got Catwoman. Then we get Shazam. Then we get Sandman.
Okay. But he did Sandman?
Not like the Neil Gaiman Sandman.
That's what I'm saying.
We're talking about the 40s Sandman with like the gas mask kind of.
Oh, really?
That Sandman.
Oh, wow.
Is what I'm thinking it is.
Stan was like, I'm going to be super literal
because it says it's based on Gardner Fox's Alan Burke Christman's character. So yeah, that one. And then he did his own Crisis issue, which was the last one.
Thank God.
So
the entire series was a crisis.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 total issues.
Wow.
From September 2001 to September 2002.
Why do you think they stopped doing stuff with him?
I think they just got what they wanted out of him and then moved on. I mean, honestly, as a corporation, that's kind of how Warner Brothers works. But
yeah, I guess. I don't know. I did not like it. I thought it was very stupid. No. It's great for this.
I enjoyed it.
For cannon fodder, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that if you had charged me $6 for that at that time, I would have I would have gotten my own water hose and come sprayed you in the face.
All right. Well, I do appreciate it.
But it was fun.
It was. Happy birthday to me. I like that.
Happy birthday, Zach.
I get to learn about Dolphin Boy.
You get to learn about dolphin cum. Yeah, it's great.
Whoa. That is for sure what he had in that vial.
It absolutely was.
He was like, in case the DNA doesn't work, I have it in me
it's like
some other way.
It's like 6 inches in that beaker.
That's a lot of dolphins.
That's what I'm saying. How many dolphins you got to jerk off to get that?
We're not going to do the math on that. No,
That's what it sounds
get out before that. Anyway, this, I don't know how to transition from that. So,
hey, thank you for listening.
Yeah,
there it
after
is.
that, oh man,
RogueMediaNetwork.com.
Yeah, I don't know how to. We're just going to get out of here on this. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for taking the time to comment and to watch and just to stay with us for all this. I appreciate it very much, Mike.
I hope you were able to follow along with that.
No, I was.
Because I was all over the place.
But thank you for doing that for me.
Oh yeah, man.
That was
we should
a lot
do this
of fun.
every once in a while.
For sure. I'm not going to subject
like next
that
year.
to you. Yeah, maybe just for my birthdays is what we'll do once a year.
Yeah.
But thank you guys as always. And until next time, stay safe, everybody.
Gee whiz, Stanley. Go back in your hole. Golly con. There it is.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.